Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the statement by Senator Omogeni. Honorable Speaker, on the shortage of tuberculosis drugs in the country. Honorable Speaker, as a Senate Standing Committee for Health, we have had opportunity to visit various counties. We had the opportunity to visit Bomet County, Honorable Speaker, your county, and we visited Longisa Sub-County Hospital and Bomet Referral Hospital. We had the opportunity to visit Nyamira Level 4 facility and Level 5. We had the opportunity to visit Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital and a number of Level 4 facilities. Honorable Speaker, to our surprise, in the course of our inspection, we actually came across patients who have been diagnosed with TB, but they lack the necessary drugs. And in some situations, Honorable Speaker, even the cartridges for testing TB were not available. Honorable Speaker, today as a Committee for Health, we had the opportunity to interview the family of baby Yasin, whose fingers were amputated at Kirinyaga Referral Hospital. Honorable Speaker, that child was presented to Kirinyaga Level 4 Hospital, and the diagnosis that was made is that of pneumonia. Only for the baby, Honorable Speaker, to be diagnosed with TB in a private facility. Honorable Speaker, this is a very serious matter of national interest, and I will be seeking your direction, Honorable Speaker, that you give direction so that the Ministry of Health, the Kenya Medical Supplies Agency, can be summoned within short notice, Honorable Speaker, because this is exposing the country to a very dangerous dreaded disease that can spread and can make it difficult to be contained thereafter, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I support this statement that the Ministry of Health and KEMSA should actually provide very explicit and clear information on the procurement of TB drugs, on the issue of sustainability of supply, and whether counties can be allowed to procure these drugs from the necessary suppliers, Honorable Speaker, whenever there are shortages. This is not a matter that should be left to the ministry to debate on their own, Honorable Speaker. It needs the indulgence of this House to actually pursue this matter. Tuberculosis is among the diseases globally, and even here in Kenya, Honorable Speaker, that are supposed to be eradicated. Without testing, without the necessary drugs to manage the already tested and identified citizens who are suffering from TB, Honorable Speaker, we risk the spread of TB in the country in times that will make it difficult for this nation to proceed. Thank you.
Senator Beth Siango.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support the statement by Senator, my friend, Senator Cherargei of Nandi County. It is true that police brutality is a real problem in this nation. Mr. Speaker, sir, I remember a few months ago when I was sent out of this house and police were on my neck. I ran as far as Kitui South and they still followed me there. I had to switch off my phones. I had to change location because of police brutality. Were it not for Kamba environment, that the same policemen were sent away by WASIP, it was serious. Yes. When they came and camped outside the church where I was conducting the meeting, then WASIP landed on them, and the first one to be spanked was the OCS. Mr. Speaker, sir, when the leadership and the members of the minority side were harassed by the same police, when we were sent out, when we were chased along the streets, Senator Cherargei was celebrating. He didn't know that a time will come that will also speak on the same. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's my suggestion and my opinion that even as we make laws, even as we contribute to motions and statements, we should think what is affecting us today will affect you tomorrow. Yes. I remember a renowned leader in this nation once said that the government eats its own people. It is coming that even the leadership and the people in Kenya Kwisha, Kenya Kwanza, are also going to suffer from what they thought was meant only for Azimio side. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would request that in future, as moving forward, we need clear policies, clear legislation to camp and to control police brutality. It is unfortunate. They are our people, they are our sons and fathers and brothers, but we need them to be called to order so that we may have disciplined forces, disciplined policemen in this nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to make comments on the statement as sought by my good friend, Senator Cherargei, the great warrior from Nandi County, who by the way is my brother-in-law. And Mr. Speaker, it appears as if the question of police brutality is a stench that is assuming a sense of normalcy. It actually stops being a stench and becomes a normal thing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the 15th of September this year, Mr. Speaker, a young man from Kwale County, a place called Taru, by the name Ngala Chamtu, lost his life at the hands of very brutal GSU officers in Taru, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we raise questions, and there's this body called the Independent Police Oversight Authority, Mr. Speaker. They never even bothered to issue a statement, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for how long will we lose innocent lives of Kenyans at the hands of police brutality, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, it is time, as a nation, as a leadership, we walk the talk on seriously addressing the issue of police brutality, Mr. Speaker. And I want to agree with most of the members here that perhaps it is time we have a regulation, some sort of legal framework addressing this issue. Otherwise, many Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, will continue to suffer and lose lives at the hands of these police officers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to urge the committee that will be tasked with the role and honorable duty of getting to the root cause of this problem, Mr. Speaker. I want to appeal to those members of that committee, Mr. Speaker, to thoroughly investigate these incidences. I know it is not happening in Nandi County alone. It is just by sheer luck that the Senate of Nandi has brought this issue before this, Mr. Speaker. But we have many cases happening in many other counties. Kwale County, for that instance, Mr. Speaker, Mombasa County, and many other counties. But they are not reporting, Mr. Speaker. It is time these police officers face the full force of the law so that it acts as a deterrent measures, so that the rest of the other officers will actually know it is wrong to continue maiming and killing innocent Kenyans in the name of police brutality, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me contribute to from the dispatch desk on the two statements that have been presented this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will start with the water companies. Mr. Speaker, sir, this afternoon the Senate has adopted reports, or the chair of CIPIC has tabled reports from Matsi Water Services Limited, Bomet Water Company, Gusii Water Company, Kisumu Water and Sanitation Company, Kwale and Nyeri Water Sanitation Company from Nyeri County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think it is important to note that as a committee, because I'm the vice chair of CIPIC, a number of reforms have been proposed to the management of water companies, and perhaps it is time that this Senate, after looking at the report, notes that it is time that the framework of the management or administration of water as a resource is changed so that counties take a former control. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is because of the framework of law under the Water Act 2016 that seems one, Mr. Speaker, not to have transitioned completely. We have water companies that have not yet transitioned, where assets are still owned and controlled by the waterworks, where debts are clearly not set out. You have debt secured by the waterworks or the boards previously existing, and a framework that has not empowered counties. Counties are therefore operating from an unclear footing. And Mr. Speaker, sir, this Senate would need to rise to the occasion and deal with these water companies so that counties take a firmer control. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is also time that counties are empowered. I note that time is up to take charge of these companies for the benefit of the people so that they can remove some of the bottlenecks in the provision of water as a service to our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to support the reports fully. Lastly, on the police brutality, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is perhaps time to adopt the Maraga report on some of the reforms so that we deal with all these questions raised. Mr. Speaker, sir, we cannot blame the police wholly for some of the questions or ills that we see. The plight of the police also need addressing by this country. Police play a central role in providing security to this country, and I think in as much as we criticize the police for some of the excesses, Mr. Speaker, sir, the plight of the police needs addressing. We need to make the conditions of living of the police not only better, Mr. Speaker, sir, but also, Mr. Speaker, sir, we need to also address the remuneration of police officers, at least at the levels that have been proposed by the task force.
Majority Leader, Senator Aaron Turiot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to commend